Have you ever told someone about a big goal you were excited about, only to see that enthusiasm fade away over time? It's a strange phenomenon, but it happens more often than we think. We all have these dreams we feel passionate about: starting a new business, writing a book, or becoming financially free. But how often do we share these dreams with others, only to find that the excitement slowly fizzles out? What if I told you that speaking about your goals might actually be sabotaging your chances of success? That's right. There's a hidden power in keeping your goals to yourself. Let me explain why. When you tell someone about your goal, especially before you've really started working on it, you're already halfway to feeling accomplished. It's like a shortcut to gratification. This is because, in our minds, simply stating our goals can make us feel as if we've already done the hard work. But here's the catch. The excitement of talking about it gives us a false sense of accomplishment, and it often leads to a reduction in the motivation needed to take real action. There's a psychological phenomenon known as the social reality effect. Essentially, when we talk about our goals, our brain registers it almost like we've already achieved them. The problem is, talking is not doing. It's easy to get distracted by external praise or even just the validation of others, which is a dangerous trap when you haven't yet built the momentum you need. Take, for example, a writer who shares the idea for their next book with everyone they meet. It feels good, getting compliments, hearing excitement about the project. But after all that, when they finally sit down to write, they might feel less inspired, as if the accomplishment has already been shared. Writing becomes harder. Why? Because they've already had a taste of the end result through other people's reactions. Now, let's break this down. Why does this happen? One reason is that speaking about your goal creates an external validation loop. When you talk about something you want to do, people often praise your idea, give you encouragement, or express excitement for you. This feels good, but it can also trick your mind into thinking that you've already taken the steps necessary to succeed. The reality is, talking about your goals rarely translates into action. Let me share a personal example. Several years ago, I had this idea to start a YouTube channel talking about topics I was passionate about. I told a few friends about my plans, and their reactions were positive. They said things like, "That's amazing. I can't wait to see your channel grow." And for a while, I was caught up in the buzz of their excitement. But guess what? Months passed, and I hadn't even uploaded my first video. The validation I got from talking about the idea kept me from actually doing the work. I felt like I had already made progress, but in reality, I had just spoken about my goal. This is a lesson I had to learn the hard way. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of sharing your dreams with others. But I've since realized that true progress only happens when you quietly work toward your goals, without the need for external validation. When you stay focused on the task at hand, you allow yourself the space to evolve, to fail, to improve, and eventually to succeed. But there's something even deeper to consider here: the energy you allow to surround your goal. When you speak about it too soon, you give others the opportunity to insert their energy into your project, whether positive or negative. It's important to protect your dreams from outside influence, especially in the early stages. When your goal is still fragile and undefined, it's easy for others to either project their doubts or expectations onto you, which can derail your focus and clarity. Think about it this way. A goal is like a seed. If you tell everyone about it, you're letting others dig around in the soil and mess with the roots. The seed can't grow properly if it's constantly being disturbed. Instead, keep it to yourself for a while. Let it grow in silence, so when it finally bursts into bloom, it will be strong and resilient, unaffected by the opinions or doubts of others. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but I want to share my goals with people so I can get support and encouragement. It's a valid point, but here's the key. It's not about never sharing your goals. It's about timing. There will be a time when you've put in the work, when the momentum is real, and when you can confidently share your progress without losing your drive. But before that point, hold your cards close to your chest. This is a time for deep work and quiet focus, not for collecting praise from the outside world. And before we dive deeper into how to avoid the need for validation, if this is hitting home for you and you want to explore more strategies for protecting your goals and staying focused, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Let's grow together in this journey toward success. In the next section, we'll explore how to keep yourself motivated during the moments when no one is watching. Because it's during those quiet times, when there's no applause, no one checking in on your progress, that the real transformation happens. Now that we've established why talking about your goals can sometimes hold you back, let's talk about how to stay committed when no one is watching. One of the hardest parts of pursuing any goal is the time when you're alone with your thoughts, your doubts, and your fears. There are no cheering crowds, no supportive comments on your posts, no friends asking how things are going. It's just you, your goal, and the work that needs to be done. This is where true commitment is tested, and it's in this space that you find your inner strength. Think about it for a moment. The most successful people you admire, the ones who've achieved great things, didn't get there because of external validation. They succeeded because they learned how to remain disciplined in the face of silence. When no one was looking, they kept going. Whether they were writing, building a business, or training for a marathon, they were motivated by something much deeper than the approval of others. Let me give you an example. Consider an artist who spends months or even years working on a single painting. Throughout that time, they don't get much attention. It's not like they're posting daily progress updates on social media. In fact, for most of that time, the only person who knows about their work is them. But despite the solitude, they keep painting, keep refining their craft, and keep showing up every day, even when no one else is watching. Why? Because their motivation isn't external validation. It's an internal drive, a desire to create something meaningful. This is the same approach you need to take toward your goals. The best results come from consistent, quiet work. It's about showing up for yourself every single day, even when no one is there to tell you how great you are. It's about finding intrinsic motivation and not relying on the approval of others to keep going. So, how can you stay on track when no one is watching and no one is clapping? First, you need to create a routine. Routines are powerful because they take the decision-making out of the equation. When you make your work a habit, it becomes a part of who you are. This means even on days when you're feeling uninspired or tired, you still show up. You don't wait for motivation. You create it by simply doing the work. Another crucial element to staying committed is understanding that success is a long-term game. It's not about instant gratification. In fact, the moment you start looking for quick wins or immediate recognition, you're already losing. Success comes from the slow, steady process of putting in the work day after day, even when it feels like no one notices. Take the example of a marathon runner. If they only ran when they had someone cheering them on, they'd never finish the race. The real success comes from the hours of solitary training, the early mornings, and the personal commitment to pushing past their own limits. And even when they cross the finish line, it's not the applause that makes the journey worthwhile. It's the internal satisfaction of knowing they didn't give up. This is why, as you pursue your goals, you need to avoid relying on others for motivation. When you learn to motivate yourself from within, you create a powerful force that's sustainable. This inner drive will carry you through the hard times and keep you going when external validation is nowhere to be found. But how do you tap into this inner strength? It begins with a mindset shift. Instead of seeking validation from others, you need to find fulfillment in the process itself. Embrace the idea that the journey, not the destination, is where the true growth occurs. As the Buddha taught, life is about the journey, not the end result. This idea is especially relevant when you think about your goals. Remember, it's okay to share your goals with trusted friends or mentors once you've reached a certain point in your journey. They can offer valuable feedback, hold you accountable, and provide encouragement when you need it most. But until you've built momentum, don't let your goals be exposed to too many people. Keep them close, nurture them in silence, and let them grow. And if you've found this information helpful so far, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more practical advice on how to achieve your goals. You're not alone in this journey. Let's keep moving forward together. As we wrap up this discussion, let's talk about the role of patience and persistence in achieving your goals. So many people give up right before they're about to experience a breakthrough. What sets the successful apart from the rest is their ability to trust the process and keep going even when it feels like nothing is happening. The most successful people don't quit, they persist. They know that the quiet work, the work done in silence, is where real progress is made. And with every passing day, their goals move closer and closer to reality. As we approach the final segment of this journey, let's delve deeper into why maintaining silence around your goals not only protects your energy, but can also keep you grounded in your purpose. One thing you'll quickly realize when you begin to internalize your goals is that the less you talk about them, the more they belong to you. You'll find that the more you speak of your dreams, the more you invite other people's judgments, doubts, and unsolicited opinions. While some feedback can be constructive, the reality is most of it will distract you from your path, and sometimes well-meaning comments can even lead you to question your own judgment. When you share your goal prematurely with others, there's a certain energy exchange that takes place. For example, let's say you're working on a new business idea and, in excitement, you tell a close friend about it. That person, although supportive, might not fully understand your vision and could unintentionally plant seeds of doubt. Even the most innocent comments can cause you to second-guess yourself, or worse, prematurely seek validation. That's why, when you've just started pursuing something meaningful, the best thing you can do is to keep it to yourself and let it grow in peace. You need that early time when your idea is still in its fragile stage to nurture it without external noise. To further explain this concept, let's take the example of a seed. If you were to plant a seed and immediately start pulling it up every day to show others its progress, it would never grow. The seed needs to stay in the soil undisturbed, where it can take root and grow strong. Similarly, your goals need time to take root and develop before you expose them to the external world. The truth is, the more you talk about your goals without fully committing to them, the more you risk your own focus. You begin to rely on other people's opinions to guide you rather than trusting your own judgment and instincts. You start to look outside for answers when the only place they can truly be found is within yourself. Think back to when you've been truly successful at something. Chances are, it wasn't because you had a huge support system cheering you on at the beginning. It was because you believed in yourself and stayed focused when others couldn't see your vision. This is especially true when working on a personal project, whether it's a creative endeavor, a health goal, or a career shift. Take, for example, the journey of someone training for a fitness goal. Initially, they're not posting their progress on social media every day. They're not seeking validation from others. Instead, they're quietly hitting their workouts, taking care of their body, and staying focused on the end goal. Only when they've made significant progress do they share their achievements. This is the way of the quiet achiever, the person who lets their results speak for themselves. This doesn't mean that you can't share your progress with trusted people later on. But early on, when the goal is still fragile and not fully realized, it's best to keep it to yourself. Doing so will allow you to work through the process without unnecessary distractions. We've all experienced moments of feeling discouraged or doubtful, and it's easy to let the opinions of others sway us in those moments. But when you keep your goals to yourself, you protect yourself from outside forces that may divert your path. The quieter you can keep your goals, the stronger your resolve will be. And this brings us to the importance of self-accountability. Instead of relying on others to hold you accountable, you hold yourself to your own standards. This takes practice, but over time, you will become more confident in your ability to follow through on your commitments. Accountability to yourself creates a deep sense of self-trust. And when you trust yourself, you become unstoppable. You stop needing external validation because you already know that you're capable of achieving your dreams. It's also important to recognize that people have different energies, and not everyone is capable of supporting your goals. While some will be encouraging and uplifting, others may unknowingly project their own insecurities onto you. This is why it's so important to choose wisely who you share your goals with. In fact, sharing your goals with someone who is not aligned with your path can create an energy drain. Think about the person in your life who is constantly negative or doubtful. Do you really want their energy influencing your progress? By protecting your goals and not sharing them prematurely, you create a shield against negative energy that could hold you back. So, how do you navigate this in your day-to-day life? Simply put, focus on your journey and let your results speak for themselves. Keep your head down and do the work. Don't look to others for approval, and don't feel the need to explain yourself. Your goals are yours, and you are the only one who needs to believe in them. If you found value in this video, I'd love for you to hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with anyone who could benefit from this message. Remember, your goals are sacred and deserve the time and space to grow undisturbed. In closing, the power of silence in relation to your goals is profound. By protecting your dreams and nurturing them quietly, you give them the best chance to succeed. You avoid the distractions, doubts, and external opinions that can cause unnecessary detours. And when the time is right, you can share your success with the world, but only after you've fully embraced the process and seen it through. Stay committed, stay focused, and let your work do the talking.